games. Do you think he can keep this up?
You know, I don't know if he can keep. I think they need to split some more time and some more reps with with Joseph Randle. They do. He needs to get more touches, no doubt about it.
And I'm not sure about Dunbar. I'm not sure that
Dunbar needs to get his also, simply because he's a guy that can get out in open space and make big plays. And we saw that a little bit last week against the Seattle Seahawks.
It seems like he catches it better than he actually runs straight forward.
He is a space guy. You create a little space, he's going to make some plays for you. And he's a terrible matchup for opposing defenses. But when you look at DeMarco, I think the biggest problem with DeMarco over the years, they've always said, is can he physically stay ready to play week in and week out? And most of the time in the last few years, he's been banged up. This year, he's healthy. And let's just look at the first 3 years. He hadn't carried the ball that much because of his injuries in years past. He's 26 years old right now. He's the hottest guy on the street. You cannot tell me DeMarco Murray will allow you to take those reps away from him. He wants those reps. And I think the way they're managing this right now, in practice, he's not getting that many reps. They're doing the old Emmitt Smith rule. He doesn't touch the ball that much in practice, doesn't get banged around in practice, he relaxes, you know, they take care of his body. But on Sundays, he's that workhorse. And I think that goes right back to how we used to do Emmitt Smith. He was a workhorse. DeMarco Murray is going to be that guy this year that's going to carry the load for the entire year.
Okay, can he last? That's the question. And you're saying...
I think he's done.
Think so?
I think he's done enough this offseason, in the last 2 off seasons, to get his body physically ready to play a full season, 16 games. And he's not taking the hits that he took behind the line of scrimmage that he's taken in years past. This time, this offensive line right now, they're mauling people. So when he's taking those hits, he's taking them at the second and third level instead of behind the line of scrimmage when people have free shots at him. So I think DeMarco Murray is going to last this season. I'm going out on a limb on this.
You are a little bit, because history would argue against you.
Yeah, and I know the lifespan of an NFL of a running back is very short, but right now in this window of time, they're doing what they do best: control the line of scrimmage, hand the ball to 29, and he's getting those extra yards. And he's coming up with a contract. He wants the ball. He wants his carries right now because now he's worth more.
I hope you are right. Because, again, I am rooting like crazy for a team that I picked before the season to win this division. My better judgment tells me I shouldn't trust this. Doug Free is now down for, I don't know, a month or so, and that Jeremy Purnell came in and did pretty well, it looked like, in a short time. He pancaked somebody on the first play. He was talking about fresh legs, and blew somebody away. So maybe he'll step in and be okay. But you mentioned Emmitt Smith. You played with him. I covered your teams. Great teams. Greatest running back ever in just pure total yards. Greatest I ever saw at avoiding injurious contact. Quickness, as Norv Turner used to say, in a confined space. Never could get that lick on him that hurt him. Not that he wasn't beat up, but that lick that put you on IR. He avoided those better than anyone I ever saw, because you couldn't quite tag him. You know, you couldn't quite get him in that one vulnerable spot where you got your shot in on him. You just missed a little bit, and it was just enough for him to stay healthy enough to rack up all those yards. This guy is the opposite of that. He is the flip side of Emmitt Smith. He knows he has the burden of an entire football team on his shoulders. On each pad, he's got the burden of Tony Romo over here and the whole defense over here, right? Both of them. He is carrying a dual load because he has to keep that defense, which I think is way better than we thought it was going to be, but we'll talk about that in just a second. But he has to keep the defense somewhat off the field, and he has to keep the ball somewhat out of Tony's hands, right? Where he doesn't have to throw it 40 times a game or put it up where he has to take some chances he should not be taking. So if you're attacking like that, where he feels like every yard he's got to punish the defense to win the game for his team, I don't know. Now the injury gods are just going to have to smile on him going forward. Is that fair, right?
I agree. I think that the injury gods are going to have to smile on him because when you look at DeMarco and you look at the way this offense is built right now and how they've taken on the onus of, basically in the years past, they've always been looked at as a soft offense where they throw the ball around, a finesse football team. They've taken on that mentality, and I think it starts up front with that offensive line altogether. They've taken on the mentality that we're going to control the line of scrimmage. We're going to run the ball down your throat, and we don't care if there's 8 men in the box, if there's 9 men in the box, we're going to run the ball at you. And that's the mentality that DeMarco Murray has. He has that. I don't think it's about the money. I don't think it's about carrying a defense or whatnot. I think it's all about the fact that he wants to win games and he wants to punish people when he has the ball. So I think it's going to be hard to take that ball out of his hands.
Injury
I'm sure.
God's smiling on DeMarco. We didn't ask him because he wasn't on the show. What about that win?
Did you win?
Did you wait? Did you pick the
Oh
Cowboys?
yes, I said. Wait, no, I'm not going to say. I'm not going to say I picked the Cowboys because I did not pick the Cowboys.
Okay, good.
But I love what I saw on the show with the Cowboy hat and the Tony Romo.
More importantly,
yes.
We'll get Stephen A to talk about that in a minute. He's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I know. So listen, this year, Cowboys